It's a great day. My name is Shay Brown, the happy entrepreneur, and welcome to the Happy Entrepreneur Show, the number one business development and revenue focused late night show in the country where we are on a mission. And our mission really is to empower, our mission is to inspire, and our mission is to provide you, the entrepreneur, with all of the resources that are necessary to execute that big vision you have for the people you were called to serve. And on this episode, we have the one and only Angela Foxworth, who's in the building, talking about overcoming depression, making sure you have the right mental health. What's going on, Angela? How are you?
I am wonderful, Shay. Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure
Well,
to
thank
be
you for being on
here.
the show. I get a chance to see you once again through the power of these fiber optic lines, which is pretty cool, by the way. And I know the
Yes.
topic is overcoming depression. Let's slow down if we can. Mental health. Why is
Okay.
that so important today more than ever before? I mean, people have Instagram, so they can go watch something and they should get excited, by the way. They got Chat GPT, they can go ask whatever they want. Why is really making sure our mental health is together more important today than ever before?
I really believe it's more important today than ever before, simply because it is still so prevalent today. In many of our communities, it is still taboo to even, or considered taboo to even talk about mental health or having a mental health illness. And mental health illnesses show up in many different ways. And I would think that, or probably not think that it would be as prevalent to discuss if it wasn't for the fact that so many of our younger people are committing suicide, dealing with depression and not talking about it, still not understanding that there is help available. And people need to know that mental health is health. It's as important as being physically healthy. Your mental health is very important to being able to live your life to the fullest.
Yeah, what do you say to the person who's watching? And we're going to help someone right now. If you're going through some tough challenges right now, and if mentally you're kind of feeling down for whatever the reason may be, what would you say to that person that's watching right now? Like, whoa, I know you're going to get into your backstory in a little while. I know you're going to give me a couple of ideas that can help me. But Shay, if she could reach out right now and she could say, look, if I'm going through something now, what's the first thing, the second thing, or the third thing that I should do to kind of help get me back? And I know it's a loaded question. It's kind of unfair, but if you had to give three ideas right now, and you home, if you're watching or listening to this, wherever you are, tune in right now because Angela Foxworth is going to help you now. What's three things someone should
Right
do
now.
if they're going through a deep depression right now?
Yes. The first thing you should do is stop. Just stop. When I say stop, I mean stop the thoughts. Stop entertaining the, the thoughts. Because with depression comes negative thoughts. Just stop. You don't need to do anything else except stop and listen. Call somebody. I always encourage people to talk. Talk about it. Tell somebody how you're feeling. Do not hold it in. Call someone right now. Doesn't matter. Just, I call it getting it off of you. Talk about it, get it out. That release helps. Sometimes it's just for the moment, but it helps. The next thing that I would tell you is write, write, write. Write down your thoughts. Write down what you're feeling in this moment. That also helps to release it off of you. So you see it on paper. Now that other side flips in and you go, okay, I don't have to feel like this. Sometimes reading it or hearing yourself say it brings in that second wave of thoughts, meaning I don't want to stay here. So it's kind of like a push to get you past the right now moment of depression.
So powerful. There's some folks that are listening right now, and they're like, "This is powerful, Shay." But I want Angela to kind of understand something. And what would you say to the person? This is the question. What would you say to the person? It's like, but I'm taking care of everybody else. How does Angela suggest that I take
Yes.
care of me? Because I want Angela to know that first of all, I work a full time job. And Angela, by the way, I'm a full time entrepreneur. But Angela, I
Yeah.
want you to know that I take care of my husband, or I got to take care of my wife. Angela, I'm also got kids, and my kids have their own schedule. And
Yes.
wait, Angela, I don't know if you're aware of this, but my community depends on me. I'm also involved in my church, and I've got
Yes.
so much going on. I'm taking care of everyone else, but truthfully, Angela, I'm not taking
Not
care of
taking care
myself.
of
So
me.
again, I know this might be unfair. This isn't a counseling session, ladies and gentlemen, but I want
Right.
Angela to be able to relate to the person that says, I've got so much going on. They're depending on me.
Yes.
What does Angela say? How do I take care of me? Here's the question. How do I take care of me, Angela, when I'm taking care of everybody else?
I know.
I don't
I
have time
know
for me.
exactly how you feel. Make time for you. Listen. I'm laughing because everything that sounds so familiar. Stop and take care of you. You know what I found out, and this is what I want to encourage you to do. Take a moment and be selfish. Be selfish. It's okay. It's okay to set boundaries. It's okay to say no. I promise you, everyone will be okay if you don't rescue them every moment. Your husband, your wife, your children. Take 10 minutes just for you. Breathe, breathe, set boundaries, put your phone away. Learn to say no. No is a complete sentence. That's not cliche. That's fact. Say no, not today. I have to take care of me today. And taking care of you may simply look like just resting your body, lying down and doing absolutely nothing. Give yourself permission to say no, and don't let everybody else's life be your emergency and overwhelm you. It's okay to try to be everything to everybody, but not before you can be everything to yourself. As learn to say no. Start today. I'm not doing it.
Start today. I love it. Thanks so much for sharing. Now, folks are listening. They're like, okay, Shay, who is this person? What's her
Start today.
backstory? I mean, what does she know about this other maybe something she read in the book? I don't know. But we're going to ask her. So if you can, take a moment, if you would, and share. And some people have read your bio. I get it. But there's a lot of folks on here that listen to the podcast. Somebody's listening to it on
Yeah,
their computer right now. Somebody might be in the car driving. Like, who is speaking? So
right.
can you take a moment and tell us a little about who is Angela? What's your backstory? And what was that defining moment that led you to being so passionate about helping people have the right mental health?
Oh, okay. Who is Angie Fox? I am a mother of 15. I am a grandmother of 38. I am a woman who has been responsible for taking care of everybody: mom, dad, children, grandchildren, husband. I'm a church administrator and an associate minister in a live ministry. Also, the pastor's assistant. You name the hat, I have probably worn it. I have probably worn it and still wears it. So, how do I know that what I'm saying today will help you? It's really simple, because I have lived it. I have lived the life of not taking care of myself and putting myself last. As a matter of fact, I didn't put myself last. I wasn't even on the list. Literally, I didn't even take time for me. I have been where you are. I know of what I speak because they tell me experience is the best teacher. Now, that may not be necessary in every case, but I have experienced being depressed, diagnosed as manic depressed. I was so severely depressed and suicidal for, get this, 17 years with five small children. I was suicidal and depressed for 17 years. I lived with self-hatred and low self-esteem, no self-esteem most of the time. I was always sad. I was never enough and felt like I was enough. I didn't like anything about myself, from the physical to the emotional to the mental. I didn't even like waking up in the morning, right? I lived that for 17 years. I lived it behind a wall where I put on that mask, that facade, to show the world that I'm okay when I really wasn't. But when I was going through the depression and suicidal actions, and not just thoughts, but attempting suicide, it was taboo to talk about mental health issues. And that was something that you never talked about. Listen, I grew up in church in the South where all you had to do was pray and go to church, and everything else would be fixed. No one told me that it was okay to not always be okay. So when things started happening to me that hurt me, and negative things came to my mind, and these negative thoughts, I just started believing them, and then I started saying them out of my mouth. So for 17 years, I kept attempting suicide. Now, if you're wondering why I didn't just shoot myself or something to the effect that would have ended things instantly, I tell people I didn't want to do that. I don't like pain. I didn't want to hurt, but I wanted to end it all so that my children would not have to live with the memory of a terrible, if that makes sense, act. So for 17 years, I constantly attempted suicide. And in 2007, I ended my life. My body absorbed all the poisons that I put in it, and EMT workers declared me dead. So I committed suicide. I did. And there was a doctor that found me. And when they stopped working on me, the EMT workers, the doctor said no. And I'm told the story that he began working on me until there was a light pulse. And I ended up going to the hospital and staying for several weeks. And I remember coming out of the hospital saying, "Oh, I'm going to do it again. And this time nobody will find me." But a few years later, I remember the very moment. You call it, Shay, the defining moment. I
Yes.
remember the moment that it changed for me. I remember the moment that I wanted more. I wanted to live. Well, let me put it this way, because I've never said it this way before. I'm not sure if I wanted to live, but I knew by this time that it seemed like I just couldn't die. So I didn't want to keep going through that. I wanted something different. And I heard a song in church this night that said, if you don't mind me saying the name, the words, not the name, but the words of the song said, "I give myself away so you can use me." And I realized that I was not usable. God couldn't use me. My children weren't getting the best me. My husband wasn't understanding how I was trying to bring harm to myself. No one in my world could really use me effectively. And I certainly wasn't help to those that were, because I've always attracted people, right? But I wasn't any help to anyone because I was so broken and so hurt and so angry. And I remember that night when I wanted more. I didn't know what. I just know I was tired of the way my life was going. And I knew then that it had to be more. And that's the night I surrendered everything to my higher power, God Himself. And I have to say that. I have to say that because that's what set me free. Because truth be told, I was in mandated counseling, Shay, for years, many years, from about the fourth time I attempted suicide in 1995 and up until 2012. I was mandated into counseling. It was either you go to counseling or we institutionalize you. But I had such a great support system, no doctor ever institutionalized me. They prescribed me medication and put me in counseling. And I learned in counseling that how to do the tools to counter the feelings of depression and different things that were coming on me. But the defining moment was when I surrendered everything first to God, and then I realized I wanted to live. I wanted to live for the first time in 17 years. I wanted to live. I wanted that life I heard everybody singing about, and I wanted my children to want to live. And from that night, July 2012, to this very day, February 29th, 2024, I have been unstoppable. I have been living, and I have made it my personal business. You can call it ministry, you can call it purpose, you can call it anything you want, but it's very personal to me to do anything and everything within my power, from my experience to what God has called me to do, to be able to help someone else live. Depression is terrible. Depression, suicidal thoughts, and all those other symptoms that come with depression are the worst thing ever next to death to me. However, people need to know that there is a life, a full, happy life to live beyond that if they just overcome their right now, their current situation. And that's where I come in. I help people to overcome where they are right now, to see the light and to live the life that they're meant to live.
You said so much. You impacted. Thanks for being so authentic. Thanks for giving us a window into the soul of who you are. As you were speaking, I'm curious. What do you enjoy most about what you're doing these days? You seem to really have a passion for it, and you seem to really deeply believe it. So what do you enjoy most about what you get to do today?
I, it's rewarding. It's the most rewarding thing I've ever done. Shay, I have not worked on for anyone else, like punching a clock or anything like that, since 2012 because I wanted to go full time in what I'm doing. So I said to my husband, I don't want to work anymore. I want to be available to help people 24 hours a day. And I meant that. And because he's such a great man, and he said, I got you. My job is to support whatever you want to do. And with that, okay, that was the push I needed. And it's so rewarding when people can come to you or come when people come to me or call me or see me places and say, I know you. You're the woman that died and came back. Or something they is something relating to my story that people will say to me. And that's everywhere I go. But the rewarding part is being able to share not just my experience, but what I've learned and give them tools to help them say, you know what, that doesn't have to be just my story. It can be yours. And to see that light come on and people say, thank you. Not thank me, but thank you for the answer, for helping me. And it is so amazing to know that my life has meaning now and purpose, and other people's lives are affected by it and impacted by it positively. That's the most rewarding part of it all.
Yeah. You know, what's one of my favorite questions I like to ask is what's one of the best pieces of advice you've ever been given? And I know you've had so many mentors, maybe some publicly,
Yes.
maybe some online, maybe some through books you read, maybe some through videos, some you met with. But if you had to reach out and just grab one piece of advice that you consider to be one of the best pieces of advice that you've ever been given that you want to share with us as an audience, what is it?
Yes.
What's the best piece of
That
advice you've ever been
piece of
given?
advice, I live it daily and I tell it everywhere I go. Speak out of your mouth what you want, not what you're going through. not where you are currently, or the bad that's going on. Say out of your mouth, out loud, what you want for your life. And say it every day. Say it every time you think about it. Say it every time something negative or bad happens. And even when the good happens, speak out of your mouth what you want. That helps to raise your expectations, and it also puts it out in the atmosphere so you will have more of it. If we only talk about the negative, if we only talk about what we're going through and the bad things and the woe is me things, though they may be happening, we would just keep having more of the same. So no matter what you're going through, no matter what your circumstances are, no matter what you look like or it feels like right now, say out of your mouth what you want, even if you don't see it yet. That's the best piece of advice has ever been given to me, and I live it every day.
Mm,
Yes.
I love it. What do you do for fun when you're not out saving the world or making a difference for
Oh,
other folks and helping them really break through their mental health? What do you do for fun?
make people laugh. Shay, I've spent 17 years hiding behind a mask and being angry about things not turning out well for me. I call myself a comedian. I
Ooh.
am the life of the party everywhere I go. I walk it, I live it, I breathe it. If you are around me, whether you're in church, whether you're at the store, the restaurant, I am going to make you laugh. I have a way with words. My mom, I get that from my mom, bless her heart. But I love to talk. I love to meet people. I love to make people laugh. And when we go, my husband and I go on vacation, I am not a stranger. Nowhere I go, I make people laugh everywhere I go, and I make life fun. So for fun for me is just enjoying every moment, no matter what it is or where I am.
Mm, I love it. Where do you and your husband like to go for vacation? You said when I go on vacation, everybody's like, "Oh, wow, she has fun." What's one place that you guys really like to go? We're just all curious, by the way. We're just listening to you.
uh, Okay, keep in mind when I answer that question that I'm just a country girl and my husband is more country than I am, and we haven't really been a whole lot of places. We've been on a cruise. Our first cruise was together to the Bahamas.
Yay!
I don't like cruises anymore. I can do without the cruises. The coming back part takes too long. The cruising part takes too long. I We go to Florida a lot. We go to
Wow.
Tennessee. We've gone to He travels with his job, so he's been all over the US. So I've been to many different states. My favorite place thus far has been New Orleans. We will be going to Las Vegas for our first time next month.
Oh,
And our
congratulations!
dream while we're there, we'll be flying to Canada for a day. And my dream is Aruba. So that's in the near future to go to Aruba for a week. We have a lot of timeshare properties all over the place. So my we don't go we go about 3 times a year. We go on vacation. But Shay,
Oh,
guess what?
what?
Vacation for me is I live in South Carolina. Myrtle Beach is about 2.5 hours from where I live, right? If you consider that local. If I go to Myrtle Beach for a day, that's vacation.
That's a good
Everything
day,
is a
though.
vic I celebrate every victory. A vacation for me, my husband works in Savannah. I'll jump in the car, pack a bag, jump in the car, and just go to Savannah for a couple of nights. To me, that's a vacation. So we just
Yeah.
go a lot and do what we want when we want.
Ah, beautiful. I love it, man. Thanks so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show. My last two questions is number one, what type of clients do you work with this day if your firm's taking on any clients? Because I don't know if you're booked up or not. And number two, how can folks best connect with you? How can they stay in this conversation over and beyond the time that you and I have now?
Yes. Okay. Well, my company's name is an organization. We are One the Movement, and we are a women's empowerment organization. That's the umbrella for what we do because I am a certified mental health coach and a certified life coach. So with my qualifications, we have clients. I had one client as young as 9, but our demographics that we mostly deal with is 18 to 35. But we do have clients younger than 18 and older than 35. We set up sessions, 12 sessions per client, and our cost is very, very minimal. If you call me, we can work that out with you. We are taking on new clients. However, we are coaches. We have a counselor, licensed counselor on staff, Dr. Tabitha Russell. She is on staff with us. So after the 12 sessions, if you need more than what we offer as coaches, then we refer you to Dr. Tabitha Russell for licensed counseling. And we can be reached. I can be reached on all social media platforms. On Facebook, I am Angie Fox, and we are One the Movement. On YouTube, I am the Angie Fox Show. On Instagram, I am now Angie Fox, and on even TikTok, I'm Angie Fox. So my email address is the Angie Fox Show at gmail.com. And if you don't mind, Shay, I will give my number because my number, I am an open book. My number is my contact. I don't have a private number that you can't have.
Sure, go
So
ahead.
if you
Give it.
need to
Go ahead,
call me,
please give it to him.
okay, so my number is 803-295-1001. 803-295-1001. And I am available as needed.
Thank you so much for being on the Happy Entrepreneur Show, Angela. We appreciate it. Can't wait to have you back.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
And thank you to viewers. Thank you for tuning in. Without you, well, there is no show. So we appreciate it. Every time you hit the share button, every time you hit the like button, every comment, thank you so much. And I never get tired, every night at 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, sharing with you that you really are amazing, that as you're watching right now, no matter what your circumstances are, you're incredible. You're an awesome human being who's doing some things that are making a difference in the lives for others. And I believe as you're watching right now that today is your January 1st. And because of just that one reason, your best is still yet to come. They ain't seen it yet. Your best is yet to come. Your best is yet to come. With that being said, my name hasn't changed. It's Shay Brown, the Happy Entrepreneur. Make it a great day, everyone. And I promise you, from the bottom of my heart, we'll make some good things out. We connect again next time. We're out of here. Peace, Angela. Thank you, everybody. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.